So, a week or so ago, I reacted to your worst opinions that you have on Geometry Dash, or at least your most unpopular ones. But today, let's take it a step further. What are the worst opinions you've heard from anyone in Geometry Dash about Geometry Dash? Yeah, this one gets pretty dumb. Also, obviously, I couldn't include all of the 100 plus responses, so I apologize for that, but I did see all of them at least. So without further ado, let's get into it. I think the 9 circles effect, if executed properly, is one of the best effects a level can have. Someone else told me this and I agree. So honestly, I would sort of agree, like if it's used correctly, it can work. But the thing is, it's been used so often that it's kind of doesn't really work anymore. So now what I would consider correct is like adding something completely new. The only good thing that's really come out of the 9 circles trend is seeing how different people have added on to the same idea or effect. Someone used to unironically tell me that beating easy demons was a waste of time and that I should focus on beating extremes. That getting better was the only thing that matters. The reason this was a bad take was because my hardest was problematic. Honestly, even if your hardest was like an extreme demon, that's not true. So yeah, easy demons aren't a waste of time, but I mean, I guess if you're trying to challenge yourself, probably maybe, I don't know, try something harder depending on your skill level. ICDX should be a medium demon. I remember hearing this from someone on Discord when ICDX first got re-rated to Insane Demon from Extreme. That's just obviously wrong. There's very much sort of a difficulty argument with ICDX because it is a lot harder on mobile than it is on PC. I do not think it should ever be considered a medium demon unless you're playing on 2 million FPS or something. The second best demon in the game is Seri Neverclear. Unironically, also this is a friend's opinion, not my own. I kind of want to know what their first pick is, just based off of this. I'm assuming they're valuing funny moment over actually good gameplay and good decoration. Killbot and Requiem are soothing for people's eyes. GD is all luck based. Wave is the worst game mode by far. Yeah, Killbot and Requiem being soothing for people's eyes. What type? Go to the eye doctor. If that's soothing to your eyes, I think there might be something wrong. And then GD is all luck based. That just sounds like something that someone would say if they've just joined the game and they can't beat Stare of Madness. Wave being the worst game mode. It's not the worst game mode. People who wake up and say Alkali is the best creator in Geometry Dash. I mean, I guess you could think he's a good creator, but like, even then, I don't think you can call him like the best creator. I've heard a lot of people say that the hardest part of Bloodbath is Vermilion. From what I've played from the level, Crack and Michigan are just much harder. Someone told me Killbot is harder than Zodiac. Honestly, I don't know how to even respond to that. RobTob should rate unverified levels, a friend of mine on Discord. That is the biggest brain thing I've ever heard. I think this friend on Discord needs a better sleep schedule. This isn't one I've heard, but one I have myself. Feel free to debate about it in the replies. I think Auditory Breaker is easier than Bloodbath. I've beaten Bloodbath and have 89% on Auditory Breaker, and I'm having way easier time with Auditory Breaker. It took me over 10,000 attempts to beat Bloodbath, and I only currently have 2k on Auditory Breaker. I'm super consistent on Auditory Breaker, but never get consistent with Bloodbath. I think this might be sort of like a skill set thing. I'm gonna assume like maybe you're just like really good at Wave, because Auditory Breaker, it's pretty hard. I just think I would personally find it easier than some people because I'm better at Wave, and I think that could be the same for you. My old friend said to me that Slaughterhouse and Sonic Wave are the most fun levels in gaming history. No. 10th Circle isn't a 9 circles level. Okay. Deception Dive is fun. Generic levels should be oh my, what are they smoking? All of the main levels are bad. But honestly, okay, all the main levels are bad. That's just not true, because they perfectly introduce you to the game mechanics. It doesn't matter that they're not complicated enough. They're good and they're basic enough that you can like understand them when you first join the game, because they're appealing to a lot wider of an audience than, you know, your top 10 demons or whatever. Generic levels should being revived. Honestly, I should have a full-on video just explaining why generic levels are a horrible thing for the Geometry Dash community, but I think at this point everyone kind of already knows why. Literally any opinion about a level's difficulty by someone who clearly isn't good enough to play the levels of the difficulty. I've seen so many people argue about the placements of the level on the demon list despite not nearly having enough skill to place a level accurately. I'm just getting those opinions from this comment section, this community tab, I mean, I think people should be able to express like sort of like a guess opinion, but there should always be like an asterisk like, oh, my hardest is like Decode. Geometry Dash is not even a hard game until you play it. Next time you see this person, tell them I say congratulations on your 5th grade graduation. Someone said that EVW should be unmodded immediately. I saw 60Hz players say that Acropolis is harder than Cataclysm. Someone once said that you can't sight read a level, it sucks. EVW should definitely not be unmodded. I think that's probably just a personal bias thing. Acropolis isn't really harder than Cataclysm, although I guess maybe it could have something to do with 60 Hz. But from what I've played with Acropolis, I don't think it's harder than Cataclysm. I've actually have decent progress on Cataclysm. Conical Depression is an S tier level. I think that's wrong. I mean, I guess everyone's entitled to their own opinion, which is the entire point of this video series, but whatever. I don't understand why people say Arcturus was good because of its theming. To me, it's the same theming as Slaughterhouse, just decoration, if you want to call it that, and stupid gameplay. And the theming isn't even done right because it's only a sense of theme that comes from the song. That's literally the same as saying that a level's theming, let's say a space theme, is good only because of the song and looks like a recent tab level. Literally, Arcturus and Slaughterhouse both go for the intimidating top 1 theme, it's just Slaughterhouse does it much better with the intensity, and I think Arcturus just, it's all 1.9 decoration. The fact that people thought that Thinking Space was amazing and should have been rated. Also, people on GD Twitter saying GD requires no skill and it's just a game of learning and remembering. So, for the first one, honestly, Thinking Space, I think it's kind of like one of those old Impossible levels that's being verified now, right? So you got, Silent Club Step, Silent Club is Thinking Space, right? It's kind of one of those levels, which is probably why it even got rated in the first place. But it's also extremely ugly and outdated, so I think they definitely should have just gone ahead and made like a redeco. Maybe not Void of Thought necessarily, but something to make it, actually rate worthy. People keep saying that the reason why it's good is because of its charm or something, but I don't see any charm in it. There is early 2.0 charm, but that exists in levels that are actually well executed. Saying that Jump Rush is just a game of learning and remembering and requires no skill is really stupid. I like Super Probably level a lot. It's my favorite Extreme Demon and I have like 76 on it. I mean, it's subjective, I guess. It's not the worst opinion I've heard today, that's for sure. Slaughterhouse gameplay is so good. No, it's not, but it does illustrate the theming of a top 1. Yggdrasil is harder than Fragile? I beat both, so okay, well at least you beat both. I think it could just be like a skill set thing. I don't agree just because they're so far apart on the list. I feel like I don't know. But I do kind of want it to be true because I'm in denial about Yggdrasil falling off the list. I have a few, take them as you will. My friend in real life, Jump Rush is a knockoff of Super Mario Bros. That's just factually incorrect. Accio is one of the hardest insane demons not in Extreme. That's also incorrect. But honestly, at this point, a little subjective considering that you could find it easier if you have a different skill set. Seri Never Clear is stupid. No, it's not. It's funny. Rodtob should hire. I never know how to pronounce this guy's name. To check the game's code for bugs. I mean, no, I don't think we necessarily have to do that. I think RobTop could just do it himself. He's fixing a lot of bugs in 2.2 and plans to fix more in 2.3. The thing is, 2.2 is not going to come out for several more years. Carmel levels are all bad, that's subjective. Thinking Space is harder than Tartarus, that's just dumb. Slaughterhouse is just as good of a top 1 as Bloodlust. Honestly, Bloodlust is much better of a top 1, and I don't think Slaughterhouse measures up to that level. More well-made joke levels should get rated, that's okay, I agree with that one. We need a minigame list demon. I mean, I don't think that's even possible. Glow is not overrated. Glow as a style is overused. I don't think it's overrated. Although I do think good things can be done with the Glow style. There are a bunch of just generic Glow levels that are rated all the time. Glow as an object is fire though. It makes everything better. It's just overused sometimes. At the Speed of Light by Demworm47 is actually a good song. Exactly. It's a good song, but it's overused. We need more GD moderators. I mean, that's true to some extent, but I don't know too much about the whole moderation community in the first place. 2.2 should be released as a new game, Drum Stretch 2 instead of an update. Okay, that one's bad. The rest of these I can at least see where you're coming from. 2.2 being released as a new game is a horrible idea. And then VSC is harder than the third variant. I don't know too much about challenges, I'm just trusting the list and saying that the third variant is harder because I can see how it's harder, but at the same time, they're both like extremely difficult. Thinking Space is a good level. A 9-year-old I found in a comment probably. Is it the same 9-year-old that said Geometry Dash is a really easy game? Someone once said that Bloodlust should be placed above Tartarus. Dude, I don't even, I have a hard time comprehending this. I have an IRL friend who says Can't Let Go is harder than Theory of Everything 2. I think it's less enjoyable than Theory of Everything 2. I don't think it's harder though. But then again, I just unreasonably hate Can't Let Go, so I don't know. I don't care about deco. If the gameplay's fun, the level is good. Some levels look really cool like Crazy 3, but the gameplay's awful. I think I would rather have a level that has bad deco but really good gameplay than good deco and really bad gameplay. I heard someone say that Limbo is probably not even the main list because it's just memory. Okay. Someone said that Bloodbath was not influential and important. I think that's just very obviously not correct. Like, that's not even an opinion, that's just wrong. Sonic Wave Rebirth isn't as bad as people say it is. I think the problem is that if it had been released back when it was first created, people wouldn't hate it as much because they have that defense where they're like, oh, it's not that bad for the time. But they can't really say that because it was released only a couple of years ago. Straight Fly is fun, Wave Spam is fun, it just needs to be made in an environment that makes it consistent. But it's really difficult to make that environment, people can't even do that. Cosmos is a good level. Don't get me wrong, Cherry Team's version / decoration is decent, but to me it's just another boring Slaughterhouse remake. It's literally just Slaughterhouse, but purple, and some space, and it has a better song. Like, it's just a remake, like you said. Once I saw someone saying Black Flag was generic. That is just wrong. No idea if it was satire, but someone in the GD Reddit said GD was racist because of the low usage of black/brown colors. It was satire, it had to be. No, that had to be satire. There's no way that's unironic. Worst opinion is that Death Corridor has a lazy verifier and that Kugel should pass it to someone who will actually beat it. Not my opinion, but I saw this somewhere else. Okay. Yeah, I mean, honestly, just watch Snorkbork's video on it. He made a really good video on just the level history of Death Corridor and, like, you know, why Kugel is verifying it. But no, he's not he's not lazy. Death Corridor is a lot harder than it looks. Zodiac is a horrible level. That's a Discord server moment. AOD should never be rated. I've heard this so many times. Well, it was rated, so oh well. I mean, it's rate worthy in terms of decoration. Hard Machine is the best top 10? Nope. No, just don't. It's the funniest top 10, it's not the best. And with that, we close this video and the horrible opinions I just went over. Honestly, this was really tiring to go through. Some of these I could actually get behind, whereas other ones, like, I can't believe they actually exist. If you have any of your own unpopular opinions or have heard even worse opinions, I mean, feel free to comment them down below. Thank you guys for 1.5k, and yeah, subscribe so I can feed my family, and I'll see you in the next one.